Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the DEKO welder. I got it from Amazon. I've been wanting a welder for years. I know virtually nothing about welding, it's just what I've seen on YouTube. This was inexpensive. I've only used it once to make sure that it would work before I started to video another YouTube video. It does work. My welding is pathetic, but I wanted to demonstrate how simple this is. And on top of this welder, I'm going to be using my generator that I got from Harbor Freight, and I'm going to discuss that a little bit more in just a moment. I'm going to be welding using my Harbor Freight 8750 watt Predator generator. I'm going to be using the 4-prong 220 volt outlet, and you'll notice that I have this generator grounded. Like most men, I read the directions after I put everything together, and it turns out the GFCI will not work if this generator is not grounded to a grounding rod. So to do that, I've ran a wire up to here. Here's a little bit of my solar apparatus for maybe a different video at a different time. Then from the back of the shed, you can see where I have the green wire. It goes down into an 8-foot grounding rod. These things only come in 8 feet. Generator says you have to have a minimum of 2. This is 8. I know by code some people want this thing buried, but now this generator has a 4-prong twist lock. Here is an extension cord that I also purchased off of Amazon. It's also a 4-prong twist lock. My twist lock and give me a 3-prong, which would mirror right up to the plug one that you're going to be holding the rod with, and this one plugs into the positive. And here's the negative, and it will plug into the negative. You can see down here in the bottom, you got a positive and a negative. I'm going to be using 6013, 16th of an inch Harbor Freight. And here's my Harbor Freight leather gloves. And this is the project. The project is going to be building a bird feeder holder. So I'm going to be welding these attachments together that I drilled out and cut. And we'll also be welding some other pieces, but I'm not going to show you the entire project. I will show you at the finish line because there's lots of welding videos out there, and I'm not doing one about how to weld. I'm just showing one of just how simple it is to plug and play with this DEKO. So there you go, YouTube. It's a hideous weld. It's horrible. And I said this is not a welding video. I don't know how to weld. But as far as setup and usage, it's pretty simple. It's going to take a little bit more practice and time to learn how not to burn these things. And maybe it's going to take a better stick, more YouTube videoing. But overall, this little DEKO, I bought it from Amazon. It works. It's going to take a lot of practice to even get good at it. Second time out, melting some metal here. But I think the birds will be happy in the end. So as some of you YouTubers probably already know, 220 volts at 65 amps was way too much power for these little sticks. So I switched it over to 110 on a generator, reduced my amperage down to 50 amps, and the new weld, although not great, is a substantial improvement upon the first one. So lesson learned, 220 is way too much power for this box unless you're going to be welding something that's a lot more thicker than what I'm doing right here. Otherwise, just use 110 and a much lower amperage if you're using the 16th inch 6013 welding sticks. The welder does what it says it does. It welds. I am no welder, and my hat is off to those people who are. This is a sloppy weld, but it works. A lot more experience to be required before I put welder on my resume. A few things that I would recommend is getting a much better slag hammer. Also, I would also recommend getting a fiberglass drop cloth to weld on. You can see the burn marks that's in this wood. And another thing is, if you're going to do this, even as a hobby, research more, or at least I'm going to research more myself, the voltage, like 110, 220 versus the amperage, the thickness of the metal, and the rods that you should use. These rods here are are thick and solid. The well's stuck. This is a hollow tube, and the wells just kind of burnt the rod clean in two. Yeah, overall, I say it does what it's supposed to do, because I don't really know what a good welder is. I have no idea. This is the second time I've ever done this. First time was yesterday, just making sure it worked. So would I advise somebody to buy this for $120? Sure. I think it's a good buy, and I think it would be worth it if it's something you're interested in.